Hey, awesome geometry students. I hope you're doing well on this Monday. So unfortunately, I'm not able to be at school today, but I thought I would make this quick video and talk about chapter 2.2, patterns and inductive reasoning. So today's video is all about inductive reasoning using past experiences and patterns to arrive at conclusions. All right, now we talked a little bit about what kind of reasoning, what kind of professions each reasoning does, whether it's deductive reasoning or inductive reasoning. And then last class, we kind of talked a little bit about what a conjecture is. Now, this vocabulary word for conjecture is just a concluding statement reached using inductive reasoning. So, for example, if you are using inductive reasoning, patterns and past events, conclusions might be right, might not be right. So we like to call them conjectures. So down here at the bottom of the page, now this I've done with some classes. I have not done this exercise with other classes. If I did it with your class, great. Just go ahead and hit fast forward a little bit. If I haven't done this page with your class, well, then let's get to it. Now it says write a conjecture. So basically a concluding statement that describes the pattern. Then look at your conjecture to find each item in the sequence. So I'm going to go over this pretty quickly. If you want to try these patterns yourself, please go ahead and pause that video. All right, but let's just go through this. Now if I take a look at these numbers here, all right, I can easily tell that they are all increasing, but by what? Well, so from here to here, I can see an increase of 2. Then from here to here, wow, it's a bigger increase. And here to here is so much bigger. So I don't think it's going up that way, but maybe multiplying. Yeah, so if I do 2 times 2, well, that would be 4. What times 4 gives me 12? 3. 12 times 4 is 48, and 48 times 5 is 240. So if this pattern continues, the next number in the sequence would be times 6, which is 1,440. That's simple. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Now, in the next one, it's going to be easiest if I make this denominator a 1. All right, so all the numerators are the same, so there's no pattern there. But let's take a look at just these denominators, just these bottom numbers. Well, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. This is a particular pattern, one that we do have to kind of start to recognize. And these are all square numbers. So 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16, and so on and so forth. So if this pattern continues, the next number has to be 1 over 36. All right? Now, just like we have patterns with numbers, we definitely can have numbers with shapes. So take a look at this one right here. Well, as we can kind of see that there's a triangle, but that 3 stands for those 3 sides of the triangle. And if I take a look at the next shape, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there we go. Now, it also looks like I'm adding to the bottom, right? So if I add, so this one has one triangle on the bottom. This one has 2 triangles, well, right side up. This one has 3. So the next one has to have 4 triangles on the bottom. Then a row of 3 triangles, then a row of 2 triangles, and 1. So next, if I just count the lines, $30. I think I got 30 lines if I counted correctly. Yeah, and if I miscounted, let me know my mistake. All right, now the next one should be a little bit more straightforward. Make a conjecture about the appearance of the 11th circle. So, as we can tell, the first circle has 2 sections. The second circle has 4 sections. third circle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections. And the fourth circle has 8. So if this pattern were to continue, the 11th circle, looks like we're just multiplying by 2, would have 22 sections. All right, not bad. Let's take a look at the next page. Make a conjecture or a conclusion about the sum of an odd number and an even number. All right, so the sum means that I'm adding. Odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, ... And even numbers are 2, 4, 6, so on and so forth. So before we can actually come up with a conclusion, let's start making a pattern. I'm just going to choose a random odd number and a random even number and add them together. All right, so 1 plus 2, well, that equals 3. Let's choose another one. 3 plus 4, well, that's 7. Well, let's do one more. Let's do 9 plus 6, and that equals 15. So based on this pattern, whenever I add or find the sum of an odd and an even number, my answer is always odd. Nice. All right. Next, let's make a conjecture about the product, so multiplication, of two odd numbers. All right, so let's just pick random odd numbers. 3 times 1, 5 times 7, and 9 times 5. All right, choosing easy numbers that I can know I can do the multiplication with. All right, 3 times 1, well, that's 3. 5 times 7, 35, and even 9 times 5. And look at that. Again, whenever we multiply or find the product of two odd numbers, our answer is always odd. So that is how we find conjectures. Basically, we create the patterns and then we find a pattern. Or we find the answer, a conjecture. Good. All right, write a conjecture that describes the pattern in the next sequence. All right, so this one is very similar to the triangle one we just did, only with circles. We can kind of see that the bottom row is being increased by 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one has to have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next row is going to have one less until we got our pyramid. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, there you go. Now, next is a vocabulary word that is very important, and it's called a counterexample. Now, counterexamples are very, very important because with counterexamples is how you win every argument. Every argument can be won by issuing a good counterexample. So for example, I love sports, and if I say, well, the Dolphins are the best team ever, someone will be like, oh my God, no they don't. Yes, I do. Yes, they are. No, they don't. And we'll go back and forth determining or trying to figure out which is the best football team. But if someone provides a counterexample, then the argument will just end. So you remember, a counterexample is just a false example. It could be a number, a drawing, or a statement that shows a conjecture is wrong. So for example, if I say the Miami Dolphins are the best team ever, and you say, well, no, the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, ooh, that is an example making my example wrong. So that counterexample, the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, proves my conjecture that the Dolphins are the best team ever is false. So counterexamples is a false example. It's an example that shows why my conjecture is wrong. By providing this counterexample, that is how you win an argument. So the instructions down here, don't tell them, all right, just really say, find a counterexample to show the conjecture is false. So I need an example that shows that it is false. All right, now here, the area of a square is always an even number. And for a lot of the times, that is true. Like if I do 4 times 4, the area would be 16 units squared. All right, well, that example proves my point. I want a counterexample. Well, what happens if I have a square that's 5 by 5? Then that area is 25 units squared. And that is an odd number. So there you go. This is my counterexample. All right, the next one. The product, so multiplication, of 2 numbers is always greater than even numbers. Well, for the most part, that is true, right? Like if I do 3 times 5, that product, 15, is bigger than either of the numbers. So if I think of just typical integers, let me think about that. Integers, what happens if I use a negative number? Negative 2 times 7. That gives me negative 14. And negative 14 is less than 7, and it is also less than negative 2. So here's a counterexample of the product of 2 numbers, and that the answer is not greater than either number. Good counterexample. Angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary, so one of them is acute. So first, let's draw 2 angles that are supplementary. So if I draw literally a straight line, and I draw it like this, then yes, angle 1 and angle 2, they are supplementary. Unfortunately, one of these angles, angle 2, is acute. So how can I draw this where both angles, or where one of them is not acute? Well, if I draw it perpendicular, and I make both of these angles 90 degrees, here, both angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary. They had to be 180. And one of the angles is not acute. They're both right angles. So here, this would be a great counterexample. All right, last one. If A, B, and C are collinear, then AB plus BC equals AC. And for the most part, that's going to be true, right? So if I have a line and I put random points A, B, C, and I draw it like this, then yes, AB plus BC is going to equal the entire distance of AC. This one is tough. Pause the video real quick to see if you can figure this out on your own, because I'm going to solve it in 3, 2. All right, so here I have a number line, and it says A, B, and C are collinear, but it doesn't say that it has to be in that order. So if I just switch around A and C for a minute, here, A, B, and C are still all collinear. They're on the same line, but AB plus BC does not equal AC, right? This larger portion AB plus the right portion does not equal AC. So by putting these points out of order, I have then made this counterexample where AB plus BC does not equal AC. All right, so that concludes the notes for right now. It should not have been so long. So right now, I want you to practice this skill and complete a Kahoot. You may work with one other person. However, I do want both of you to sign up with your right names so I can get a good feel about who understood this lesson and who did not. After you finish the Kahoot, you may start on your MyLab, Chapter 2, Section 2. Hopefully get your work done in class, have no homework, and then next class we'll be starting with the next kind of thinking, the next logic, and that is deductive reasoning. So this is inductive reasoning, using patterns and past events to come up with our conjectures. And if you ever need to prove a example wrong, go ahead and use a counterexample for your argument. So that is that. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.